So today, Monday the 4th of May, we got some strength work to start off with. We've got max strict press straight into max push press, straight into max push jerk. We're doing all this on one arm with one dumbbell. We're then going to rest for a minute and repeat on the left side. Okay, so you're going to do that 4 times. So we need to get our shoulders and our pressing nice and warm. So we're going to start off with some Turkish get-ups. So if you haven't done this before, have a little bit of a practice of the movement before you start even thinking about adding any weight. Okay, we don't need to add weight. We can just have like a small object just to balance on our hand, just to make sure that we're pressing up and keeping the right sort of angle, essentially, in that shoulder. So we want this to really warm up this shoulder. So think nice and purposeful, but this is like a full body movement as well. So a lot of stuff going on. It is a lot to coordinate, so don't worry if you don't get it first time. All right, guys, so if you start lying down on the floor, we're going to start with object in our left hand. So this is the arm that we're going to press up towards the ceiling. Stack that shoulder, think about shoulder back and down, press up. Then we're going to raise our left leg so that our foot touches the floor. From here, we're going to crunch up and come up to our elbow. So we're trying to stay as sort of square as possible here, looking up towards our hand with our object in it the whole time, pressing up through that shoulder. Then we're going to raise onto our right hand, pressing up even further. Now from here, we're going to take our weight, we're going to drive our right foot into the floor and our left hand nice and stable, and we're going to raise our hips up, pressing through, really squeezing those glutes. Then from here, we're going to shoot our right leg back underneath us so that we're essentially in a lunge now. Again, looking up towards this weight the whole time. From here, we're going to straighten up so that we're basically in a lunge. Then from here, we're going to drive up, stand up. That's your Turkish get-up. And now for 1 rep to count, that's only sort of halfway. We need to get back down as well. So we're going to reverse that. So we're going to bring our right knee down into that lunge. We're going to lower our right hand down to the floor. Shoot that right leg through so that our hips are up nice and high. Let that bum come down to the floor. Let our elbow come down to the floor. And then let our body come down, back down to the floor. Lower that leg. Lower that weight back down. Okay? And me just using that, no weight whatsoever, I can feel my shoulder getting warm already. Okay, we're taking it through lots of different angles, trying to keep it balanced up there as well. Really, really good for full body movement, coordination, and for warming up that shoulder. So you're gonna do 5 on each side. I would probably do one side, alternating, okay? So that should get your shoulders nice and warm and ready, as well as sort of full body movement. Then we're just going to practice some handstand stuff, because why not? So if you are able to kick up into a handstand, kick up into a handstand. We're going to do handstand holds. 3 lots of 20-second holds. Thinking about really pressing up through those arms, locking out those arms, feeling it all through our back as well. Okay, really nice and purposeful. If you struggle to press up or kick up into handstand, we can go into our pike position and just hold there. What we want to try and do is stack our hips over our shoulders as much as possible. Press up nice and tall, spread those shoulder blades, hold that for 20 seconds. If you want to take that a little bit further and you've got a sofa or a box or something, you can again raise your feet. But again, I want you to think about getting those hips over your shoulders. So bring that weight over into your knuckles, stacked over your shoulders as much as possible. Okay? So 3 lots of 20-second hold, whatever sort of rest you need in between there is fine. So that should mean that our upper body's nice and warm, ready for this complex now. So just to show you all the movements, our strict press is no movement whatsoever. So we're going to squeeze our legs, we're going to squeeze our bum, squeeze belly button in towards spine. Imagine that we're trying to close that gap between our rib cage and our pelvis here. And we're going to press straight up. No dip in, no movement whatsoever. It's all coming from our arms here. Once you've done as many of those as you can manage, that last one, you struggle out, you decide to go into push press. So push press, as it comes down, we're gonna dip our knees, sat against the wall, squeeze and press. Dip down, squeeze and press. Think about keeping that weight as close as you can to your ear. Once you can't do any more of those, we're gonna go into that push jerk. So we're gonna dip, drive and dip, okay? I want you to think about moving your feet with this as well. Dip, drive, dip, okay? So dip down, press, drop underneath, okay? As many reps as you can of that. Right, so once you've done that strength element, we've got a 12-minute AMRAP. We need to get our heart rate up for this. So we'll have a little bit of a warm up before we get into it. It's a ladder up in 3s and 10s. So we're starting with 3 squats with our dumbbell, 10 fast high knees. Then we do 6 squats, 20 high knees, 9 squats, 30 high knees, and so on until you've done 12 minutes of work. So to warm us up, get our heart rate up, just click on a little Tabata, 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest for 8 rounds of burpees and squat jumps. So the first 20 seconds, you'll do as many burpees as you can. That's chest all the way to the floor. Jump, cock above your head, as many of them. 10-second rest, and the next round will be squat jumps. Squat down, jump up. Make sure we're sticking that bum back and down, jumping as high as you can. Really try and keep that chest up. And that's our little warm up for getting that heart rate up, ready to go. Then our workout, our dumbbell squats, whatever weight you've got, we'll be holding that in whatever position you like. I've got a kettlebell, so for me that's most comfortable in this goblet position. Get that nice squat stance. Make sure that knees are going to be tracking over our toes. Make a little foot tent with your feet. So drive those toes into the floor, accentuate the arch of your foot. Bum back and down, stand yourself up. Make sure that hip crease gets below your knees. Then our high knees. Again, we want to make sure that our knees, ideally coming up above our hip, nice and quick. Really pump those arms. It's like a sprint, guys, okay? So you're essentially sprinting in your living room. Good stuff. Enjoy.